The signal arrived on a Tuesday, buried deep within the quantum noise that pervaded the space between stars. Dr. Sarah Martinez sat in her dimly lit lab at the Quantum Listening Post in Antarctica, her eyes fixed on readings that shouldn't have been possible. The pattern was too perfect, too structured to be natural. "Hey Maya, take a look at this," she called to her research partner, Dr. Maya Chen, who was engrossed in calibrating their quantum entanglement array. The array was humanity's newest tool for exploring the cosmos, though its true capabilities remained classified at the highest levels. Maya glanced at the display, her expression shifting from mild interest to intense focus. "That's not random noise," she muttered, fingers flying across the holographic interface. "The pattern repeats every 47 seconds, but each repetition is slightly different, like it's encoding information." Sarah finished. They shared a knowing look. After 15 years of secretly developing quantum technology that surpassed anything publicly known, they had finally caught what they were waiting for: proof of advanced alien civilization. What the rest of the world didn't know was that Earth had far surpassed conventional technology decades ago. The public internet, visible satellites, and standard communications were merely a facade, maintaining an appearance of a developing civilization, while humanity's true capabilities were hidden in quantum dimensional space. 3 months later, the Kraxan Empire's scout ships entered the solar system. Their massive vessels, crystalline and geometric, reflected the distant sunlight as they approached Mars' orbit. Admiral Zextor stood on the bridge of the leave vessel, the inevitable destiny, his scaled skin shimmering with pride. "Preliminary scans confirm our long-range data," his science officer reported. "The species calls themselves humans. Primitive electromagnetic communications, basic space presence, no quantum shielding detected. Standard classification, pre-ascension species, Category 3. Zextor's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. The Kraxan Empire had incorporated thousands of such civilizations into their domain. The process was always the same: demonstrate overwhelming technological superiority, demand submission, and guide the young race into proper development under imperial oversight. "Prepare the standard first contact package," he ordered. "Let's show these humans how a proper civilized species conducts itself." Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility that didn't officially exist, General Helena Rodriguez watched the Kraxan ships with amusement. The quantum dimensional sensors provided perfect real-time data of the aliens' every move, while Earth's true technological capabilities remained completely hidden from their scans. "They're broadcasting on all standard frequencies," her communications officer reported. "Standard first contact package. Language databases, cultural information, and, yes, a demand for submission to imperial authority." Helena smiled. "Send them our response package. Let's see how they handle a Category 3 civilization that isn't quite what they expected." Aboard the inevitable Destiny, alarms suddenly blared. The ship's quantum core, technology that should have been centuries beyond human capability, simply shut down. Not through any attack or countermeasure they could detect, but as if someone had reached into the fabric of reality itself and toggled a switch. "Impossible," Zextor's science officer exclaimed, mandibles trembling. "Our sensors detect no weapons, no energy signatures, but our quantum systems are there." A message appeared on every screen throughout the scout fleet, transmitted through methods that defied imperial understanding. "Greetings, Kraxan Empire. Your assumptions about Earth's technological level were incorrect. We have been watching, learning, and advancing along paths you never considered. We suggest diplomatic discussions as equals, rather than demands for submission. To demonstrate our sincerity, we have temporarily adjusted your quantum cores to operate at 5% capacity, sufficient for life support but not for weapons or rapid departure. We await your response." Zextor stared at the message, his worldview crumbling. The humans hadn't just matched Kraxan technology. They had transcended it. His species had spent millennia mastering quantum mechanics, and these supposedly primitive humans had just turned their most advanced technology on and off like a child's toy. "Send word to the Imperial fleet," he ordered, his voice barely a whisper. "The situation here is complicated." Back on Earth, Helena Rodriguez prepared for what would come next. The Craxan Empire wouldn't take this humbling experience well. Their entire society was built on technological superiority and the mandate to guide lesser species. Finding themselves outmatched would trigger only one response. "They'll return with their full invasion fleet," Maya Chen noted, now serving as Earth's quantum defense coordinator. "Their entire cultural identity depends on maintaining their position as the most advanced species in known space." "Let them come," Helena replied, watching the quantum dimensional display where Earth's true defenses waited, invisible to conventional space. Sometimes the hardest lessons are the most important ones to learn. As the scout ships hung powerless in space, their crews came to terms with a frightening new reality. They had arrived expecting to find primitives to guide. Instead, they had found teachers, and their first lesson had been in humility. The quantum cores of the Craxan vessels suddenly returned to full power, another demonstration of Earth's complete control over the technology. A new message appeared. "Your ships have been restored. You may leave to deliver your report, or stay to begin peaceful diplomatic relations. The choice is yours, but know this: humanity has hidden its true nature for centuries, not out of fear, but out of responsibility. We hope you choose to learn why." Admiral Zextor stood at his command center, facing a decision that would reshape the galaxy. The Empire had never encountered a species that surpassed them so completely, yet offered peace instead of domination. His pride demanded retaliation, but his wisdom sparked curiosity. The humans had called themselves teachers. Perhaps it was time for the Craxan Empire to learn what it truly meant to be an advanced civilization. The Craxan Imperial fleet materialized at the edge of the solar system 3 weeks later. 10,000 ships strong, their crystalline hulls formed a vast geometric pattern that transformed the starfield into a lethal constellation. Each vessel carried enough firepower to reduce a continent to ash, and their combined quantum signatures created ripples in space-time itself. Supreme Commander Ixal stood aboard the Imperial flagship Eternal Dominance, his 4 arms crossed behind his back as he studied the tactical display. The humans had humiliated their scout fleet, but surely they couldn't stand against the full might of the Empire. "All ships report ready, Supreme Commander," his fleet coordinator announced. "Quantum cores synchronized, dimensional barriers at maximum strength. The humans won't be able to disable us as easily as they did the scout fleet." Ixal's outer eyes narrowed while his inner ones remained fixed on Earth's image. "Begin the approach. Standard invasion formation Delta. Let's see how these humans handle real Imperial power." In her office atop the underwater Quantum Defense Center, General Helena Rodriguez watched the invasion fleet's arrival with Dr. Maya Chen at her side. The holographic display showed not just the ship's physical positions, but the complex quantum dimensional matrices they generated. "They've learned from last time," Maya observed, studying the data streams. "Their quantum cores are linked in a defensive lattice. Very clever for conventional quantum technology." Helena nodded. "They still don't understand what they're dealing with." Status of the quantum dimensional mesh. "Ready," Maya replied. "The QDM has been fully deployed throughout the solar system. Every cubic kilometer of space is mapped and accessible to our systems. They literally can't move without us knowing exactly how and where." The Craxan fleet advanced with precision born of millennia of military tradition. Their formation was perfect, their quantum shields harmonized into an impenetrable defense grid. As they passed Mars' orbit, Supreme Commander Ixal prepared to broadcast his ultimatum. He never got the chance. The first sign that something was wrong came when their quantum cores began reporting impossible readings. According to every sensor, the fleet existed in multiple dimensional states simultaneously, something that should have torn the ships apart instantly. "What's happening?" Ixal demanded as warning signals flashed across his command center. "Unknown, Supreme Commander." His science officer's voice carried an edge of panic. Our quantum fields are still functioning, but they're operating in ways that violate fundamental laws of physics. It's as if someone is rewriting the rules of reality around us. Through every ship's communication system came a calm human voice. Dr. Maya Chen's. Your quantum technology operates on a three-dimensional understanding of space-time. We transcended that limitation centuries ago. What you're experiencing now is a small demonstration of quantum dimensional engineering. The Kraxan fleet hung motionless in space, their advanced drives unable to generate any thrust. It wasn't that they were being held in place. Rather, the very concept of movement had been locally redefined. They could fire their engines at full power, but displacement through space had been temporarily divorced from the expenditure of energy. Impossible, Ixal's science officer exclaimed. You can't simply change how physics works. Actually, Maya's voice carried a hint of amusement. We can. Your understanding of quantum mechanics is impressive, but limited. You treat quantum fields as tools to manipulate reality. We learned to treat reality itself as a quantum field, one that can be adjusted, reprogrammed, and reconstructed as needed. Aboard the Eternal Dominance, Ixal watched helplessly as his mighty fleet hung paralyzed in space. None of their weapons would fire, not because they were damaged, but because the fundamental principles they operated on had been locally suspended. This is your final warning. General Rodriguez's voice joined the transmission. The Kraxan Empire is used to being the teacher, the guide, the superior force. That ends today. You can either accept that humanity has developed along a different path, one that has taken us far beyond your current capabilities, or you can continue this invasion attempt and face the consequences. Ixal's pride warred with his growing realization of just how outmatched they were. You speak of consequences, he growled, yet you merely hold us in place. If your power is so great, why not simply destroy us? The response came not in words, but in a demonstration. A small portion of the fleet, 100 ships strong, suddenly vanished. They reappeared an instant later, but transformed. Their crystalline hulls had been reconstructed into abstract artistic sculptures, their weapons reformed into observation arrays, their quantum cores reprogrammed to generate sustaining fields for beautiful zero-gravity gardens. Because destruction is easy, Helena explained. Creation, transformation, and teaching are the true marks of an advanced civilization. We could eliminate your fleet with a thought, but we choose instead to show you possibilities you never imagined. The transformed ships were restored to their original configuration in another eye blink. The demonstration left no doubt about humanity's capabilities, while simultaneously highlighting their restraint. Throughout the fleet, crews stared at readings that showed just how completely they were at humanity's mercy. The humans hadn't just surpassed Kraxan technology, they had transcended the very limits of what the Empire believed possible. You have 1 hour to make your decision, Helena announced. Retreat and return to open diplomatic discussions as equals, or continue your invasion attempt and receive a more comprehensive demonstration of quantum dimensional engineering. In the tense minutes that followed, Ixal contemplated options that didn't exist. His entire military career, his species' dominance of known space, even their fundamental understanding of physics, all had been upended in a single encounter. Supreme Commander, his tactical officer spoke hesitantly. Perhaps we should consider their offer. They could have destroyed us, yet they choose to teach instead. Is that not what we've always claimed to do for lesser species? Ixal stared at Earth through the quantum dimensional distortions that held his fleet immobile. The humans had done more than defeat them. They had turned the Empire's own philosophy against them in the most elegant way possible. As the deadline approached, he faced the hardest decision of his career. The Empire had always defined itself by its superior technology and its mission to guide other species. Now they had found themselves in the role they had assigned to so many others, that of the student facing a teacher. The future of the Kraxan Empire hung in the balance, and for the first time in their history, It would be decided not by their strength, but by their wisdom. The decision that reshaped galactic civilization came not with a grand declaration, but with a simple transmission from the eternal dominance. We request diplomatic talks. Supreme Commander Ixal's words echoed through the quantum dimensional communications network, reaching Earth's defense center instantly. In the underwater command facility, General Helena Rodriguez and Dr. Maya Chen exchanged knowing looks. Phase 1 was complete. The Empire had chosen wisdom over pride. Release the quantum dimensional locks, Helena ordered, but maintain the mesh. Trust requires verification. Throughout the Kraxan fleet, commanders watched in amazement as their ships regained full functionality. The humans had delivered on their word instantly, demonstrating both power and honor. Yet the subtle quantum dimensional readings at the edge of their sensors reminded them that Earth's invisible defense grid remained active. A small diplomatic vessel departed from Earth's orbit, its design unlike anything the Kraxan had encountered. Instead of the usual sharp crystalline geometry of advanced spacecraft, this ship seemed to flow like liquid mercury, its form constantly shifting as it moved through quantum dimensional space. Aboard the vessel, Earth's diplomatic team prepared for humanity's first official contact with the Kraxan Empire. Dr. Sarah Martinez, the quantum physicist who had detected the first alien signal, led the delegation. With her were Maya Chen and a select group of Earth's foremost experts in various fields. The ship's journey to the eternal dominance took mere seconds, crossing vast distances through locally altered space-time. As they approached, Sarah couldn't help but admire the Kraxan vessel's design. "Beautiful work," she commented, studying its crystalline structure. "Their quantum engineering is elegant, even if it's limited to conventional dimensions." The diplomatic vessel merged seamlessly with the eternal dominance's docking bay, its fluid form adapting to create a perfect seal. As the Earth delegation emerged, the Kraxan crew got their first close look at humans, and at technology that made their most advanced systems seem primitive by comparison. Supreme Commander Ixal waited in the ship's grand conference chamber, his forearms arranged in a formal greeting pose. The room's crystalline walls displayed a real-time view of space around them, currently showing both fleets, the massive Kraxan armada and Earth's single impossible vessel. "Welcome aboard the Eternal Dominance," Ixal began, his translator converting his complex harmonics into perfect English. "Though I admit, the name seems somewhat ironic now." Sarah smiled warmly. "Names don't define us, Commander. Actions do. Your choice to pursue diplomacy over conflict speaks volumes about your wisdom." The tension in the room eased slightly. Ixal gestured to the conference table, where holographic displays showed both Earth and the Kraxan homeworld. "You've hidden your true capabilities for centuries. Why reveal them now?" "Because you were ready," Maya answered, activating a small device that filled the room with a quantum dimensional display showing the true nature of reality. Not just the 3 spatial dimensions, and one of time that the Kraxan understood, but the full spectrum of quantum dimensional space that humanity had learned to navigate. "Your empire has done remarkable work," Sarah continued, highlighting various aspects of Kraxan technology in the display. "You've mastered quantum mechanics within the conventional framework, but there's so much more to discover." The Kraxan scientists present stared at the display in fascination and disbelief. Their most advanced theories had hinted at some of these possibilities, but seeing them demonstrated so casually was revolutionary. "What you call quantum cores," Maya explained, "are devices that manipulate quantum fields within normal space. Our technology doesn't just manipulate these fields, it restructures the underlying fabric of reality itself. We don't fight against physical laws, we temporarily rewrite them to suit our needs." "Impossible," one of the Kraxan scientists whispered, though his tone carried more wonder than denial. "The energy requirements alone would be infinite, using your current understanding," Sarah agreed. "But energy is just another expression of quantum dimensional structure. Once you understand how to operate outside conventional physical laws, many supposed limitations simply cease to apply." Ixal's inner eyes narrowed in thought, while his outer ones studied the humans carefully. Your technology, your capabilities, they could have made you the dominant force in the galaxy. Instead, you hid, watched, waited. Why? Because true advancement isn't about dominance, Helena replied, speaking for the first time since entering the chamber. The Kraxan Empire has spent millennia guiding younger species, teaching them to follow your path. But there are countless paths to advancement, countless ways to understand and interact with reality. The display shifted, showing Earth's historical development. We chose a different path, Sarah explained. Instead of expanding outward, we expanded inward, pushing the boundaries of what was possible, learning to see reality not as a fixed set of laws to be obeyed, but as a canvas to be reshaped. And now, Ixal asked, his voice carrying both curiosity and concern. Now that we know of your existence, your power, what comes next? The humans shared a look before Sarah responded. That depends on you. We're offering partnership, not dominance. The chance to learn and grow together. Your empire has experience in guiding species toward advancement. We have knowledge and capabilities beyond your current understanding. Together, we could transform the galaxy. The implications of this offer hung in the quantum dimensional display around them, showing possibilities that made even the most advanced Kraxan technologies seem basic by comparison. The Empire had always seen itself as the teacher, the guide, the superior force. Now they were being offered the chance to become students again, and perhaps in time, true partners. Your empire stands at a crossroads, Helena concluded. You can cling to your current path, maintaining the illusion of supremacy, or you can embrace this opportunity to learn, to grow, to transcend your current limitations. The choice, as always, is yours. In the silence that followed, Ixal studied the quantum dimensional display, watching as it showed potential futures branching out before them. The Empire had always prided itself on guiding lesser species toward civilization. Perhaps it was time for them to remember what it felt like to be guided themselves. The future of galactic civilization waited on his next words, and for the first time in Kraxan history, their supreme commander found himself hoping to be a student rather than a teacher. 6 months after the historic first contact, the Kraxan Imperial Academy of Sciences had been transformed. The once rigid halls of crystalline architecture now flowed with new forms of matter, their very structure a testament to the revolution in physics taking place within. Dr. Sarah Martinez stood before a class of eager Kraxan scientists, their multiple eyes fixed on the quantum dimensional display that filled the chamber. The display showed reality not as they had known it, but as it truly was, a complex tapestry of interconnected dimensions that could be reshaped by those who understood its true nature. Your traditional quantum cores, Sarah explained, manipulating the display with graceful gestures, treat space-time as a fixed framework within which quantum effects can occur. But reality is far more flexible than that. Watch closely. With a subtle motion, she created a localized bubble of altered physics. Within it, light moved in spirals rather than straight lines, gravity pulled sideways rather than down, and time flowed like honey. The Kraxan scientists recorded everything with their advanced instruments, their traditional understanding of physics crumbling with each demonstration. Meanwhile, on Earth, Maya Chen worked with a team of Kraxan engineers in the Underwater Quantum Defense Center. The Empire's crystalline technology, while limited compared to Earth's capabilities, had its own elegant advantages that humanity was eager to learn from. Your quantum crystalline matrices are incredibly efficient, Maya noted, studying a Kraxan power core. They achieve perfect resonance with minimal energy loss. We could incorporate this principle into our dimensional engineering, create even more stable field effects. The lead Kraxan engineer, Tixful, clicked his mandibles in appreciation. After centuries of being the teachers, the Empire's finest minds were learning to be students again, and discovering that it brought its own kind of joy. It's strange, Tixval admitted, his outer eyes tracking quantum fluctuations while his inner ones focused on Maya. For millennia, We thought we were the pinnacle of technological advancement. We guided younger species, showed them the proper path to the stars. Yet here we are, learning that our proper path was just one of countless possibilities. In orbit above the Kraxan homeworld, the Earth diplomatic vessel Quantum Dawn had become a symbol of the new era. Its fluid, ever-changing form represented everything the Empire was learning about the true nature of reality. Inside, General Helena Rodriguez met with Supreme Commander Ixel to discuss the broader implications of their alliance. The smaller species under Imperial guidance are getting restless, Ixel reported, displaying reports from across Kraxan space. News of Earth's capabilities has spread. Many are questioning whether our path is truly the only way to advance. Helena nodded, having expected this development. Perhaps that's not a bad thing. The galaxy needs diversity of thought, of approach, of understanding. Your empire has done remarkable work in guiding species toward the stars, but maybe it's time to let them find their own paths. While maintaining guidance and support, Ixel added quickly, then paused, mandibles clicking in amusement. Listen to me, already thinking like a teacher rather than a ruler. Your influence runs deep, humans. The quantum dimensional display between them showed the galaxy in its true form, not just a collection of stars and planets, but a vast network of possibilities, each species contributing its own unique perspective to the greater whole. Back at the Imperial Academy, Sarah was introducing concepts that would have been considered heretical just months ago. Reality, she explained, is not a fixed set of laws to be discovered and obeyed. It's a consensus, a framework agreed upon by the collective quantum consciousness of the universe itself. Once you understand this, you can begin to negotiate with reality rather than simply accepting its apparent limitations. A young Kraxan scientist raised his hand, all four eyes bright with curiosity. But if reality is negotiable, why maintain any consistent physics at all? Why not simply rewrite the universe as we see fit? Sarah smiled, pleased by the insightful question. Because stability is as important as flexibility. We can create local alterations, temporary changes to suit our needs, but the underlying framework must remain consistent for life to flourish. Think of it like language. We can invent new words, new ways of expressing ideas, but we need a common grammar for meaningful communication to occur. The exchange of knowledge flowed both ways. While humanity taught the Empire about quantum dimensional engineering, Earth's scientists were fascinated by the Kraxans' crystalline technology and their centuries of experience in guiding younger civilizations. In her private chambers aboard the Eternal Dominance, Supreme Commander Ixel reviewed reports from across Imperial space. The revolution in physics had sparked a broader cultural transformation. Species under Imperial guidance were being encouraged to explore alternative paths to advancement, to seek their own unique ways of understanding the universe. Perhaps this is our true destiny, he mused to his advisor. Not to rule, not even merely to guide, but to learn and grow alongside others, to be both teachers and students, sharing what we know while remaining open to new possibilities. The advisor, an ancient Kraxan whose scales had dulled with age, clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. The old ones speak of a time before the Empire, when our species first looked to the stars. We were filled with wonder then, with curiosity about what secrets the universe might hold. Somewhere along the way, we convinced ourselves that we had found all the answers. And now? Ixel asked, his outer eyes tracking the fluid form of the quantum dawn as it danced through quantum dimensional space. Now we remember what it feels like to wonder, to question, to learn. The humans haven't just taught us new physics, they've reminded us how to be explorers again. The transformation of the Kraxan Empire sent ripples throughout known space. Other advanced species, long content in their own technological superiority, began to question their assumptions about the nature of reality. The humans had proven that there were always new frontiers to explore, new ways of understanding the universe. As Sarah concluded her lecture at the Imperial Academy, she left her students with a thought that captured the essence of humanity's approach to the cosmos. The greatest discovery is not finding what you seek, but remaining open to what you never imagined possible. 1 year after the failed invasion of Earth, the galactic landscape had changed beyond recognition. The grand meeting hall of the newly established Galactic Knowledge Commons floated in quantum-dimensional space, its architecture defying traditional physics. Representatives from 100 species gathered within, their various forms illuminated by the shifting patterns of reality itself. Dr. Sarah Martinez stood at the center of the hall, alongside Supreme Commander Ixel. Above them, the quantum-dimensional display showed the true scope of their achievement. A network of civilizations learning, growing, and advancing along their own unique paths while sharing knowledge freely. A year ago, Sarah addressed the assembly. The Craxan Empire and Earth stood on the brink of conflict. Today, we stand together as partners in the greatest exchange of knowledge in galactic history. Ixel's scales shimmered with pride, but it was a different pride than he had known before. Not the pride of dominance, but of growth and transformation. The Empire once believed our duty was to guide lesser species along a single path, he added. Now we understand that the true path to advancement lies in diversity of thought and approach. The assembled representatives watched as the display shifted, showing the revolutionary changes spreading through known space. Younger species, once bound to follow the Empire's prescribed development path, were now exploring new possibilities. Some focused on biological advancement, others on spiritual enlightenment, and still others on technological paths that even humanity hadn't imagined. In Earth's Quantum Defense Center, Maya Chen worked with a mixed team of humans and aliens, incorporating insights from a dozen different species into new forms of quantum dimensional engineering. The Craxan's crystalline technology had merged with Earth's reality-altering capabilities, creating hybrid systems that surpassed both original approaches. The breakthrough came from the Zinthuri, Maya explained to General Helena Rodriguez, referring to a species that had previously been considered primitive by imperial standards. Their unique perception of time led to an entirely new way of manipulating quantum dimensional fields. Sometimes the greatest innovations come from the most unexpected sources. The Galactic Knowledge Commons had become more than just a meeting place. It was a living symbol of the new order. Its very structure was maintained by the combined technological approaches of multiple species, each contributing their unique understanding of reality. A young Craxan scientist named Relter, who had been among Sarah's first students at the Imperial Academy, now led his own research team. They had discovered ways to combine the Empire's crystalline technology with human quantum dimensional engineering and biological insights from various other species. "We never imagined this was possible," Relter told his mixed species team as they worked on their latest project. "We thought advancement was a linear path, with clear steps from primitive to advanced. But look at what we've achieved by combining different perspectives." Their project was a prime example of the new era's potential. They were developing ways to alter local reality that worked with nature rather than imposing change upon it. The technique drew from human understanding of quantum dimensions, Craxan crystalline harmonics, and the intuitive biological manipulation practiced by several supposedly primitive species. In the depths of space, the former Imperial fleet had been transformed. The crystalline warships now served as mobile research stations and cultural exchange centers. Their weapons had been converted into tools for exploring and understanding the universe. The eternal dominance itself had become a symbol of transformation, its structure now a hybrid of multiple technological approaches. Supreme Commander Ixel, standing in his modified command center, reflected on the changes. "We thought we were bringing order to the galaxy," he told Sarah during one of their regular meetings. "In reality, we were limiting its potential. True order comes not from enforcing a single path, but from allowing many paths to develop and interact." The quantum dimensional display showed the flow of knowledge and innovation across known space. Species that had once been relegated to the role of students were now contributing unique insights that advanced the understanding of all. The galaxy had become a vast laboratory of ideas and approaches, each civilization free to develop along its own path while sharing its discoveries with others. The most remarkable thing, Helena observed during a council meeting of the Knowledge Commons, is how quickly species adapt once they're free to explore their own potential. We've seen more technological and cultural advancement in the past year than in the previous century. Some of the most significant breakthroughs came from unexpected collaborations. A group of former Imperial subjects, working with human quantum physicists and Kraxan engineers, had developed entirely new ways of manipulating reality. Their approach combined spiritual insights with advanced technology, breaching barriers that pure scientific method had never penetrated. As the first year of the new era drew to a close, the gathered representatives in the Knowledge Commons witnessed a demonstration that would have been impossible months earlier. Using combined technologies and insights from a dozen species, they created a stable quantum dimensional gateway, not just a passage through space, but a bridge between different ways of perceiving and interacting with reality. This is just the beginning, Sarah told the assembly as the gateway shimmered with possibilities. Every species brings its own unique perspective, its own way of understanding the universe. Together, we're not just advancing technology, we're expanding the very boundaries of what's possible. The Kraxan Empire, once the self-appointed guardian of proper development, had found a new role as facilitators of diversity. Their experience in guiding species, combined with their newfound humility and openness to alternative approaches, made them ideal coordinators for the Knowledge Commons. In the quantum dimensional display above the assembly, the galaxy shone not just with stars, but with the combined potential of countless civilizations, each contributing its unique light to the greater whole. The future stretched out before them, not as a single path, but as an infinite web of possibilities, each connection strengthening the entire network. As the assembly concluded, Sarah and Ixel stood together, watching the representatives depart through various means, some using traditional ships, others quantum dimensional transport, and still others methods that defied traditional classification. We thought we were advanced because we could alter the laws of physics, Sarah mused. But true advancement comes from understanding that every perspective, every approach, adds something valuable to our collective knowledge. Ixel's 4 eyes tracked the departing representatives, his scales reflecting the quantum dimensional light. And to think, he said, mandibles clicking in amusement, all of this started because we made the mistake of trying to invade Earth. Not a mistake, Sarah corrected with a smile. A necessary step on the path to something greater. Sometimes the best teachers are those who show us that we still have much to learn. The Galactic Knowledge Commons pulsed with the combined energy of 1,000 species technologies, a living testament to the power of diversity, cooperation, and the endless potential of minds free to explore their own paths to the stars.